So, welcome back. Who do we choose? I have no idea really. I'll say Catalyst. What led you to believe it? Well, it's the missing rod. Not only did he have easy access to Madman's gold, but him not noticing that a rod is missing, come on. He of all people would have known immediately. I will admit that on the surface, your thinking seems quite reasonable here, Ava. But in all, I find Catalyst's oversight highly plausible. Such inattentiveness is very common. How much time would it take you to notice if I took a decoration you see every day from your chamber? The only decoration in my chamber is a wall-to-wall engraving of moons, so... Oh please, you know what I mean. In fact, you stole another rod right under his nose, and I don't see him raising the alarm. We need more than that to point the finger at Catalyst. So... it wasn't Catalyst either. Oh. The priest may be insincere in his devotion, but he's not a killer. Oh well. I give up, Mother Superior. Who do you think did it? Just think back on what you did today. How did you make the murder weapon? Well... I used the General's replication machine. No, we're getting somewhere. How did you gain access? The Amulet of Vigil. And is there anyone else in here in possession of such an amulet? No, only... I mean, what are you saying, Mother Tiabata? Did you kill Moon? Haha, my dear Ava. But sadly, no. We were together far from the city when we received the distress signal, remember? I feel stupid now. I was simply referring to the fact that nobody but a vigilant sister, or the General, could have used the replication machine. So, Rotulus. Of course, it's as plain as day he's a man who delights in mechanics, so I can easily see him devising a trap in the suit's lid. And crucially, he was the only one who had the means to create the golden knife. Then there's one more detail. Not at all conclusive on its own, but it contributes to the picture. The tools. Found a hammer and a chisel. It seemed like the General had used them recently, and I have to say, they came in handy when I was stealing the rod. As they surely did when Rutulus stole one several days before you. So that's it? General Rotulus is our killer. Yes, Ava. I am strongly convinced he is. The easy part of it, sure, so... what? The easy part. Of course, fighting the killer was never what concerned me most. But what could be more important than that? Oh, Ava, you mean you still don't see it? You lament a statue, you agonize over some broken pottery. And yet you don't see the cracks in everything else. What cracks, whatever do you mean, Mother? Everything, just follow the thread from the start. The suit, the body, the missing plate, the lamps, come on, the decrees, the lost writings of Hippocles, the scales, and at the center of it all, 5 shards, 4 accounted for. 3 on one side, 1 on the other. I really have no idea what you're talking about, Mother Tiabata. No. I'm sure General Rutulus will be kind enough to enlighten us both. Go fetch him, will you? Tell him I'm interested in making some serious investments. Just need to apply the right kind of pressure in the right places. I tend to be rather good at applying pressure. Can't argue with that. Very well then, I shall summon the General. Honestly, I didn't think... it kind of makes sense, but I didn't... What? Oh, fuck. He's... What the hell? Why? Search the body. The last dot we need to connect. It is here, I'm sure of it. He was heavily beaten before he died. It's hard to say what finally ended his life, but concussion would be a reasonable guess. Strange object, what is it? I think you already know. Let's take it and get a better look. It sure is. The shard. And so now we know everything. What do you mean, everything? No, it's not obvious. Tell me what's going on. Very well then. Find the 3 remaining leaders and ask them to gather at the library. Tell them that I sent you and that it is urgent. Sure, last time you sent me to fetch someone who found a dead body. I assure you there will be no more dead bodies. I will be with you shortly and explain everything. But before that, I have one brief errand to run. The farms. Yes, it's time I finally paid a visit to the farms. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, Father Catalyst. And yours, Lady Radina. And a pleasure to meet you again, Master Sabian. I have gathered you all here to discuss an extremely pressing matter. Now, I am certain your time is as precious as mine. So let us get straight to the point, shall we? Yes, let's. What is this about? And where's Rutulus? Interesting, you should also inquire about Judge Morris, Lady Radina. But as I said, let's not waste time. Earlier today, me and Sister Ava were summoned by his holy light, and upon entering his sacred chamber, we made a rather startling discovery. A discovery, pleased to share, Vigilant Mother. Ava, you have been itching to speak out the whole time. Well, this is your moment. Tell them what we discovered, will you? What do you mean, Mother? Just tell them. Moon is not a god, it's a man, and he's dead. Murdered. He's not all-knowing, and he definitely isn't immortal. It's just a man in a mechanical suit. It's always been a man in a suit. And he's been murdered. He's dead. He's fake and also dead. Cathartic. Terrifying. Why is nobody else having a heart attack right now? Did you hear me? Moon is... They know, Ava. They've known for quite some time. All of them? Am I the only one in this nation? No, let us not get distracted. I don't know what the two of you are speaking of, but I have to say I'm deeply appalled by... Oh, yes, appalled. This is blah. Ah, they're catching on now. Listen, you lot. This is how things will go. I know that you know, and you know that I know that you know. You get the gist. It's knowing all the way down. And yet, you're wondering Who else might be listening? Is this a test? What will she report to the Order? How will this gathering go down in history, and what do I want to be quoted saying? I understand, but I have a complicated case to unravel, and I would prefer to do that without constant exclamations of blasphemy and sacrilege and whatnot. I'm looking at you, Father Catalyst. Now's your time. You will make your devotion to Moon known. You will express your shock and disgust and purge it, as they say, out of your system. And then you will let me speak, uninterrupted. This is heinous, the most sinful of words my ears have had to endure. Let it be heard that I refuse to take any part in this. Lady Radina, I'm good. Marvelous. Now where were we? Ah yes, the Emperor's chamber. Upon entrance we are met with a mechanical suit. And within the suit, a dead body. And at this point I have to say, even I am taken aback. I see an extremely concerning situation, and I know I have to delegate. As poor Sister Ava here has just had a crisis of faith land on her plate, I decide to give her the easier task of reconstructing the murder and revealing the identity of the killer. Thank you. I, meanwhile, concern myself with another identity, the identity of the victim. I assume you'll recognize this man. Oh no, Morris? Radina don't... Oh, give it over already. She knows. That's right. Do you then, Lady Radina, identify this man as Judge Morris? Yes, I do, damn it. This here is the late judge. So, this isn't Boone. And you knew the whole time? From the first moment I saw the body, yes. Of course. You knew what the Emperor looked like. I'd never seen the Emperor in my life. So you recognized the judge? No, I didn't know what the judge looked like either. Upon our arrival, I thought it was Master Savian, remember? Then how... Come on, Ava, you examined the body, didn't you? I didn't notice anything. Oh, but you did notice. In fact, I noticed you noticing to an appropriate degree. The muscles, Ava. Didn't I clearly tell you the Emperors are entirely reliant on the suit? That most of them can barely walk. Granted, there are Moons who manage to stay somewhat physically active, but nobody can maintain this kind of physique if they spent most of their days in a metallic coffin. Oh, now put yourself in my shoes. I am summoned to meet the Emperor, and lo and behold, there is a different man in the suit. My mind starts racing. What is happening here? Has Moon's secret been revealed? At least two people must know of the suit, the victim and the killer. And if two people know, then how many others? I still maintain I don't know. I said no interruptions, Master Savian. Anyway, I was very much in the dark at this point, grasping at straws. But then Ava made a discovery. A secret passage opened by 4 levers. 4. Wait, what does the number of levers have to do with anything? You can't be serious now, Acolyte. Why did you think there were 4 levers? Within the passage, a plate, split into 5 perfectly even pieces. Most of it clicked for me at this point. 5 leaders, 5 shards. 4 levers to open the passage. 4 shards on the scale. 3 on one side, 1 on the other. I understand all these numbers. They're important to you, Mother, but... You skipped the biggest question of all. If the dead man was Judge Morris, then where is the Emperor? There is no God Emperor, Ava. Fine, I know he's not a god, but... You must understand there is no Emperor at all, god or man. There hasn't been one for a while now. What? Let me explain. When I saw the split plate, I looked at the pottery in the Emperor's chamber. A narrative entered my mind, a strange yet surprisingly plausible tale. A tale which I have since been able to confirm. Let me relay it to you now, and hopefully things will finally become clear. At some rather distant point in the past, the latest moon reads the lost writings of Happoclus. This latest moon, he's an odd one. What his predecessors considered a threat he sees as inspiration, hope, potential for change. Our moon has been watching the cracks in the system with concern. And so he decides if the plate is to be broken, better do it cleanly. Sometime later, the 5 leaders of the city are summoned to the Emperor's chamber. Inside, they find an empty suit. A set of instructions heavily inspired by the pre-moon era, and a certain plate split into 5 even pieces. From now on they are to take turns in the suit, assuring a balance of interest. As a further assurance, should the current ruler be deemed unfit, the others can vote him out of suit. So the shards... Yes, Ava, the shards are votes. It's a very ancient custom. You really should have taken some time to read Happoclus. In this time, people were sometimes given the opportunity to make choices. In the desert, parchment was scarce. In fact, almost everything was scarce. But the one thing everyone had too much of was broken pottery. So they used it to make their voices heard. They used it to vote. As a Happoclus devotee, our emperor simply couldn't resist the symbolism. So that's why you were dressing over the numbers. Obsessing, sorry. Yes, I know, though, that 4 people voted, so I assumed the decision was probably made about the 5th person. But who was the odd one out? What exactly was this whole kerfuffle about? I'm sure you can see the rest of the story now. For a time, a balance is struck. We have to farmers a little one year, support the church the next, and then for a change we prop up the intellectual elite. Right, that was the oh, okay. No, it all makes sense now. Right, and he even told me. Come on, I'm so dumb. Oh, man. So the 4 remaining leaders vote, and the general is informed that he is to be replaced by the judge. But here's the problem. The moon-shaped hole is still very much there. And it sucks people like brutalism with irresistible force. So the general is not going to go peacefully. You have to understand General Brutalist. He was a man of a very narrow form of intelligence. A man surprisingly clever in mechanical matters, yet unaware of the fact that you don't explain a sly wink. When such a man thinks of murder, he thinks in terms of its technical execution. He believes he's being devious when he uses Regina's knife. And he's a straight-out genius when he devises a disappearing murder weapon. And yet, he doesn't see that the remaining leaders will obviously know he did it. Because who else, really? He doesn't realize that if you want a formal trial, you shouldn't kill the judge. So on his last day as moon, the general sets his little trap, and his successor, the judge, is murdered the moment he replaces him in the suit. The remaining leaders are confused at first, a matter not made easier by a sudden presence. But then, you, masters and lady, you soon catch on to what had occurred. Your corner ritualists apply the right pressure and heat in the right places. Get a confession, and as far as you're concerned, justice is served. Isn't it beautiful, Ava? The respectful silence. And they say people don't learn. I believe I speak for everyone, when I say that this is the most ridiculous pile of hogwash I have ever heard. I have read of this condition, a very particular type of paranoia that forces one to perceive patterns everywhere, and so one becomes obsessive. Counting lamps, pottery pieces, who knows what else. Worst kind of delusions can stem from this type of mental malaise. I must admire your persistence, Master Savian, and I have always been one to respect the demand for direct evidence. What the hell? What the... Hey? What's the statue doing here? Right, Plint. Hey, still got it. Masters and ladies, let me introduce you to him who illuminates the darkest of souls, the original creator and the final destroyer, the son of the sun and the master of... What? Plint? Is God Emperor Moon? Howdy. What the fuck? That's a plot twist. That's a plot twist indeed. I have no idea. You've made a fine mess of things, haven't you? I hand you a nation on a plate. And it takes you less than 5 years to start going at each other's throats. Pardon me, your holy light, but what did you expect? Their whole life they've been conditioned to believe. Right, I know. A me-shaped hole and all that. Well, we sort out things now, don't you worry. But first, I gotta ask Miss Tiabata, what gave me away? Oh, come on, Final Destroyer, the Happoclus text, the pottery. Once I knew who I was looking for, I was just obvious. I think they are awaiting your judgment, light who illuminates, etc. Oh, that. Well, let's get on with it. Then the shards, I'll find them behind that engraving of me over there, right? Yes, the holiest of holy, just as you... Fine. Then open the passage. Emperor's orders, chop. My deepest apologies. You who tramples upon the... What is it now? I'm afraid we're one short. Hey, will you do the honors? Alright. That ending was a bit... I thought they were gonna have some ceremony in there. Oh, anyway, what a plot twist. Maybe I just didn't think well enough. I'd never thought that Plint would be the God Emperor. And I don't think I would have been able to figure out all the complications and... Whoa. No, anyway. What a lovely game. I love the music, the art style. It's point and click. It's what reminded me of my kiddie days, my youth days. Wow, I'm speechless. And just to say, you could possibly download this game for free. You know? Awesome. Well, I sure hope Ava is going to be the new God Emperor. I mean, she deserved it. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm gamingcatdad. See you soon.